Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you're having a good day. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I hope you are doing well, and I hope that today is a blessed day for everybody listening. I want to lay out something. I don't even know. This is not meant to be a motivational speech or any sort of anything outside of that, but I thought that I would kind of lay out a framework in terms of what's on my mind. You guys know how I do on drboycetv.com. This is the home for intelligent Black people. It's also the home for high achievers. This is a home for Black people that want to be their best selves. It's a home for Black people that want to live their best life. It's a home for people that want to become a better person, that really want to grow. And I thought that I would just kind of come in and share this message. Hello, Nathaniel and Tony and Sabir and El Haj and DJ. I see, and Crimson Hulk. I see you guys in the chat. And I'm not going to make this message long, but I just really felt compelled to share this. The spirit kind of moved me to share this. I was talking to my daughter this morning, and we were talking about uh, life. We were talking about accomplishment. We were talking about getting out of the mud. We were talking about what it means to grow, what it means to elevate, what it means to kind of take your game to the next level. And it's hard, right? A lot of us go through times where we're trying to be a better person, we're trying to be smarter, trying to be more disciplined, trying to achieve things that used to be impossible. And it is really hard because there are so many obstacles. There's so many things that can get in the way. Limitations. In fact, the biggest limitation a lot of us have is ourselves, right inside of our own soul. There's this big hater that lives in there, and you see him when you look in the mirror, and he's like, "You're not good enough, and why you? And what makes you? Who do you think you are?" And things like that. And I just want to lay that out there, because it's kind of a real experience, and I think being Black, it even goes deeper because when you're Black, you also have what I call the Negro naysayers, right? And the Negro naysayers, y'all might have heard me talk about them before. The Negro naysayers are the people who find a problem for every solution. The people who can't see possibility, they only see impossibility. The Negro naysayer is the person who only sees things going down. They can't see how things could go up. They see limitations. They don't see all the possibilities that might exist in front of you. And a lot of us have people like that in our family. We have a lot of people in our family who just are terrible, who just really slow us down and keep us from believing in ourselves, and kind of just throw so much dirt on what you're trying to do, and stand in the way of your progress. When you're trying to become a better person, they're too attached to the old person that they give you a hard time about it, and it's just terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And so what drove me to have this conversation with you today is that I want to encourage everybody out here that wants to be a high achiever, everybody that wants to do something a little bit different, that wants to take your game to the next level. And actually, I want to say thank you, Sabir's Wellness, for the donation. I appreciate that, and I put you on the screen. I threw you up there because I certainly appreciate when you support the channel. So thank you. Um, you know, Here's the deal. My whole life, I have never been a person that really fit in with the world. I never have. Like going all the way back to elementary school, middle school. I didn't fit in socially the way I wanted to. I grew up around white kids, so the white kids, treated me different because I was Black, and the Black kids treated me different because they thought I acted white and talked white and stuff like that, right? So it actually helped me because I didn't form any sort of formal attachment to any particular group. I wasn't defined by any set, any sort of, you know, specific culture. I just kind of took in everything, you know. And so what really actually was a limitation, something that kind of made me feel a little bit isolated, actually became a strength. I mean, even with my father, my biological father was not there when I grew up. I was raised by my stepfather, and even that, left me with a lack of connection to my roots. Like I can't, I don't really think about what my grandfather and great grandfather and great grandmother and everybody else did, because a lot of those people I just didn't know. I mean, I had half my family was like my adopted family. I love them very much, as if they were my own. But as I got older, I started noticing that for some people, I wasn't really, a member of the family. Like, they remember me when I was 3, and my stepfather brought me home, and they're like, "Okay, who's this kid? You dating and marrying a baby's mama." And I know a lot of people think that that's, that's simp stuff. But my father loved me. My father said, I don't care what anybody thinks. This is my son, and he treated me like his son. And that's why I respect men who can love a woman that does have children, because children deserve love too. And it doesn't make you a simp. It makes you a man. As long as it's a good woman, then I say go for it. But with that said, these lack of attachments really kind of led me to kind of carve my own path in a lot of things, and you see it. Actually, you guys see it. If you listen to me long enough, you might have even noticed it, that sometimes I just say stuff that nobody else, can understand, nobody else is saying, and whatever, or coming out of left field, or do things that don't make any sense. Like, I don't know, last month I started playing video games. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna talk about stocks and play video games. And people are like, Dr. Boyce, you almost 50 years old. What are you doing playing video games? I'm like, because I want to. And that's it. There's no other reason to do it other than the fact that I want to do it. And so with that said, I want to kind of connect with those who kind of feel that sometimes, especially if you're trying to do what we talk about here. Like if you're trying to do this whole pro-black thing, this black power thing, this black wealth thing, I want to be intelligent. I want to do all these other things. And sometimes it feels weird because it's in such contrast to some of the culture. You know, maybe you go to parties and you don't want to even be at the party. You'd rather be working on your business. Or when everybody runs to the dance floor to do the electric slide, you don't want to do the electric slide. You don't even know how to do the electric slide. Or everybody's sort of worshiping celebrity rapper culture, ignorant ass, self-destructive, making babies mamas and wasting your money and popping bottles and popping mollies and everything else. And you're just looking at it like, this is crazy. This is stupid. This makes no sense. So my point is to say, that's okay. It's really okay for you to be you. And what I have learned actually through time is that the more committed you are to being you, the greater of a force you can be. And really you are kind of all you've got. Like you get to situations where if your dreams are real big and you really have some like off the waist type stuff that you're trying to do that's like off the grid compared to the people around you, you're gonna find yourself to the point you might find yourself with no friends at all. like you might find yourself at a point where you can walk in a room full of people and feel lonely. I've done that before. I've been in a room full of people and felt like I was there all by myself because my head was in the clouds and I'm trying to just really do something where I can't even tell other people what I'm trying to do because they'll literally think I'm weird. Right? It's like, okay, I can't tell them what I'm going to do. I just have to do it, and once I do it and I show it to them, then they're going to believe it's possible. And also, you don't feel like arguing with small-minded people. Like that's not fun either. When you have a big vision and somebody's like, "Well, explain what you're trying to do. Like, why are you trying to do it this way?" And you try to explain because you see it real clear. You're like, "I need to do it like this, and then like that, and then I make this hustle, and I make this move, and I quit the job, and then I do this and I do that." And then next thing you know, they're arguing against you. Like they're telling you, like, this isn't gonna work, and what are you doing? This is crazy. So next thing you know, you're wasting a lot of energy and a lot of time arguing with people who just who can't get outside of their own limitations. Literally, if you have a big mind, like, and you're really trying to do big stuff, one big piece of advice I will give you right now is please limit the amount of time you spend trying to explain your big ideas to people who don't have the ability to comprehend what the fuck you're talking about. Like seriously, like I know you love him. I know that you love cousin Rerun, and you see cousin Rerun's potential, even though he don't, and you really want him to understand how much money you can make if you do things this way instead of that way, or whatever. I know you love him, but sometimes you can't. You just they won't get it, and it'll get to the point where they become a liability. It doesn't mean you have to get rid of them or like kill them or kick them out of your family, but it might mean that certain conversations just don't need to be had with cousin Rerun. Like, okay, cousin Rerun want to talk about, like the new movie that came out on Netflix. You can talk about that, or cousin Rerun want to talk about the pretty girls on the corner. You talk about that. But when you got your big master plan where you're planning to go out here and make $100 million or whatever it is you want to do, maybe that's not a conversation you even need to have with him, especially if you feel that he's going to become some sort of deterrent to what you're trying to do. Because the thing is that I really believe in general that if you're trying to become a high achiever in this world, you really have to work hard to protect your spiritual energy. I mean, you got enough to deal with just with the natural obstacles for you to achieve your goal. I mean, if you're trying to do really big things, you already have a million and one reasons why things can go wrong. You have a million and one self doubts where you've already had to work through those things, where you've had to sit back and say, damn, like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I have enough. I don't know if I'm smart enough. I need to, like, I don't know if I can stay motivated enough. I got to get up every day and work hard every, right? You have a million and one things internally that you already have to deal with without dealing with tiny minded people that are having conversations with you that are clearly above their pay grade. Like, I'm serious. Like, if you're trying to do master's degree level shit, you don't need to be trying to explain that to a first grader. Some people got first grader minds, and you're trying to explain to them master's degree level concepts. A first grader cannot understand, numerical analysis or advanced medical technology. Like, they can't, right? So you got to sometimes operate with them like a first grader. You have to see where people are mentally, and sometimes you can just be quiet, and say nothing. Sometimes you can just walk away. Sometimes you can engage them in some lower level, stupid, low vibration conversation that will help them feel like you're engaged. Whatever. Or maybe when you're working on your deep stuff, you got to just get away. You got to, like, get away and operate either by yourself or operate with people that are at that same level. And it's not an elitism thing. It doesn't mean you're better than anybody. But I swear to God, I just think that in general, I have seen so many amazing, extraordinary people with so much potential not be able to move forward because they are stuck in the spiritual mud. You got relatives that are stuck in the mud. You got friends that are stuck in the mud, and they will pull you into the mud and keep you in the mud. And you can't fly if you're stuck in the mud. And that's it. So that's my thought. By the way, just as something, as a gift to you guys, I actually had a masterclass on motivation in life and setting goals and managing time and overcoming obstacles, actually at blackkeystogreatness.com. It used to have a fee. There used to be a cost. It was actually, people would join for, like, a lifetime membership used to be $1,000, but actually I decided I wanted to offer it for free. So the URL is right there on the screen. If this kind of thing is of interest to you, and you somehow see me as a person who can add value to your journey as a high achiever, then you can go to blackkeystogreatness.com. The URL is right there. So feel free to go sign up. Hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe button. And I hope this conversation helps somebody in here. Oh, and by the way, also on April 1st, attorney Tanya Nebo is coming into the Black Business School to talk about how to buy a franchise. Family franchises are a great way to build family wealth and stuff like that. And a lot of you have asked us how to do that. So if you'd like to take a look at what she's going to be doing, you can go to the blackbusinessseries.com. We do a lecture series, kind of like a black version of TED Talks, where we have experts that come in that will break things down and show you various aspects of black wealth building and business. So Tanya Nebo is an attorney who works with families that are trying to buy franchises. So if you're interested, you can feel free to go to the blackbusinessseries.com. So I hope that this conversation helps you. And I guess my final point on this is to say, um, if you want to do different, you really got to think different. One thing I will tell you is that if you want to be a high achiever, you've got to learn how to unshackle yourself, because you're like a bird. A bird that's trying to fly at the highest altitude cannot carry a lot of dead weight. A bird that's flying at the highest altitude cannot have shackles on his ankles, right? A bird that's flying at a high altitude can't be stuck down in the mud with all the little chickens that want to stay in the mud. Sometimes you got to unshackle that stuff, and it's very painful. It's very tough. You have people that feel like, you ain't real no more, or you think you better than everybody else, or maybe even if it's your spouse, they might feel like you're not respecting their opinion and their point of view. And so you got to kind of deal with all of that. But I'm just telling you, you got one life to live. Life is short. You got one chance. And one of the things have always felt is, I got one chance to do this shit right. I got one chance to be the best version of myself that I can be. I got one shot. One day I'm gonna be old. I'm gonna be in a hospice, and I'm gonna be on my way out. Hopefully, it won't be till I'm in my 80s or 90s. It might be in my 40s, 50s, or 60s. I don't know when that's gonna happen, but I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna let you and your small-minded bullshit keep me from reaching whatever height God has meant for me to achieve. And that, that might mean I'm gonna be polite about it, but at some point, we gonna shut this down, and we gonna the big shit gonna be popping, the little shit will be stopping. I will not waste my life engage with you and your low level, small minded thinking. I want to fly with the Eagles. So, and I've done a little bit of that. I mean, I think my life is, I've done a few things. I'm a little bit older than some of you, and I know some of you want to fly too. But I'm just trying to be real with you. Maybe Uncle Boyce mode, and tell you how to fly. You can't fly when you're trying to fit in. I'm telling you, if you're fitting in with this mediocre ass culture we have around us. We have a whole community filled with average people. There's people that just don't want to do much of anything, that waste a lot of time, waste a lot of energy, a lot of emotional, spiritual energy, don't have a clear focus on what they want to do. It's no disrespect to those people. Maybe that's just their purpose. I have no idea. But for those of you that want to do something significant and special, you got to just be different. So don't be afraid of being different. Embrace that. Love that part of yourself. Wear it like a badge of honor and go out and be the best version of yourself that you can be. And then nobody can copy that. Nobody can emulate that. You know what I mean? So if you spend your time trying to be like other people, then you'll never be original. You'll only be a cheap imitation. So that's my 2 cents. That was my thought for the morning. I hope that this helps somebody. I love you. Have a good day. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.